welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the evening session of day one of the Career Acceleration Summit 2024. Welcome from whatever part of the world you are streaming from. If you were with us during the morning session, I'll say welcome back. And if you're just joining us for the first time on this Career Acceleration Summit, you are more than welcome. We're streaming live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Please invite your friends, share the link with family and loved ones. My name is Mona Etiebet, and I'm connecting with you from the beautiful city of Vancouver in Canada. And I would love to know where you are connecting from. So please tell us in the comment section. I'll be looking at the comment section as well. Please tell us where you are joining from, your expectations for this session. And if you were here during the morning session, please tell us what it was that struck a chord for you from the amazing, amazing sessions that we had. I'll be looking out for you in the comment section. Thank you so much for joining us. Some of our morning highlights, I hope some of our photo ops will be shown on the screen. It was an amazing session. We had Mr. Damola Salvador. He spoke to us about personal branding, about defining and promoting what it is that you stand for as an individual and the value that differentiates you. That was an important session for me, especially because, you say you're creative and then you display a CV that doesn't even show the creative aspect of you. So who are you really in the grand scheme of things? How do you then show yourself out to the world? We had another beautiful session from Tomi Oni, and she spoke about acquiring skills for a changing job market. So that's, it's a lifelong learning. She spoke about the need to understand the industry and the role that you are applying for and the importance of transferable skills in the workplace. And the third session that we had this morning was on building an out-of-the-box career. It was by Mrs. Khadijat Fashino. It was an amazing session. I'm just going to say, go watch it. I think for me, in listening to all this, she shared so much. You've got to watch the replay. I think in listening to all this, one of the things that struck me is you then realize that you are the person that's limiting yourself. Forget the external factors. The first thing that stands in your way of your career acceleration is you. And so we look forward to an amazing session this evening. Hope your devices are charged up. Please share the link, share it with friends and family. Get comfortable with your tea, with your coffee, and get your notepad and your pens and get ready to jot things down. I would also like to say congratulations to everyone that's joining us. And I say congratulations because you being here shows that you have a growth mindset. You're putting in the effort, the commitment, the learning to actually improve yourself. And we are sure that at the end of even day one, and then day two, you're going to leave here with an arsenal of tools and techniques to be able to accelerate your career. So welcome once again. And I'll be moderating this session not alone. I'll be doing it with one of the sharpest legal minds, a dear friend and colleague. I'll be co-anchoring with him. I hope he's going to pop up on screen very soon. You saw him during the morning session. He was also a moderator, and that's Mr. Israel Ojuade. I would also like to say we apologize for starting the session late. It was due to some technical issues, but we are glad that we're here with you, still within the hour. Thank you so much for connecting with us. Please bear with us. It was due to some technical issues. We appreciate that you are here. Thank you so, so much. Is Israel Israel, are you there? Hello. Okay, I have Mohammed Mustafa. He's joining us from Mina, Niger State. Thank you, Mohammed. I see Atinuke joining us as well. Thank you so much. Oh, I see Lala. He's joining us from Texas. Yay. Welcome on board. I also have Tinuke TK. Kazai Akumi, okay, and that's from Abuja, Nigeria. Fantastic, fantastic. Oh, I also have Tolu Lope Lala watching from Nigeria as well. Oh, would like to say fantastic, fantastic welcome. This career acceleration is very, very important, especially at this time. We have a lot of people who, I mean, come up with these issues. How can we accelerate our career? And we've put this together in response to that issue, in response to that question. And we hope that you're going to make use of what all the resources that we've put together. We have speakers from all over the world coming on, and this is a free session. It's a free session. That's why we say share it with people. You do not know who needs it. It's a free session. Professionals are coming from around the globe to speak to us, to tell us about their experiences, how it is that they've been able to accelerate their careers. So now you know they're speaking from a place of experience. They're telling you what worked, what didn't work. We also have sessions that are talking about how to craft a winning CV. We have that as well. We're talking about, I mean, enhancing your employability, how to fast track your career growth, skills development, even preparing for interviews. There is so much going on in the sessions. You don't want to miss it. Please save the date. Also, we'll be sending you new links to join the session even tomorrow. We'll send new links via email. So for us to have your emails, please make sure that you register using the link. Register so that we have your email so you do not miss out when we send updates via emails. Oh, I also have Stella Chiedu from Abuja, Nigeria. Welcome, Stella. Welcome, Stella. Oh, I see Tabitha as well. Tabitha Kinang. I'm sure I pronounced that well. Also from Abuja, you are more than welcome. Apologies, my co-anchor, Israel. He's just dealing with some technical issues. He's going to come up on the screen now. Uh, we'll make sure that we move things along very quickly so we do not take too much of your time today. Also, I have Adati Joffrey from Abuja. Welcome, Joffrey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here. It's a pleasure to have you here. Oh, I also have Yewande from Abuja. You are more than welcome. Oh, we have people joining us. Welcome, welcome everyone. I have Aisha Muhammad from Abuja. Also, I have Shadrach Solomon from Abuja. Welcome, my Abuja people. Abuja is home. Abuja is home. Abuja, welcome, welcome, welcome. I also have Pascaline from Abuja. Amazing. Ooh, and I spy Ore Ofe from Ibadan as well. Thank you so much for joining in. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for being patient with us. We're going to start this session. Just get ready. Have you gotten your tea, your coffee, your biscuits? Get comfortable before we start. Get comfortable. Make sure your devices are also charged up. Oh, I have also Oluwatosin David, also from Abuja. You are welcome. Abuja is representing. Where are the other people? Where is Lagos? Where is, okay, I have Ibadan. I was going to say, where is, okay. So where is Lagos? Where is Akwa Ibom? I mean, where are we? Omoleye Rosemary from Abuja, you are welcome. Amazing, amazing. Oh, I finally have Israel in the studio.
Good evening, all the way
Yes.
from the beautiful city of Abuja, Federal Capital Territory, Nigeria. I heard you earlier when you were talking from the beautiful city of Vancouver. Hello.
Abuja is home, oh, you know now. You know.
Uh, it's raining in Abuja here, and we
Oh,
having a beautiful time in the studio. Thank you so much for taking the lead and for starting. I'm excited to see you. Truly, this is a global conference. We're connected as one family all across the globe. And thank you also to everyone who is joining us from across the world. Like Mona rightly said, you're in for a beautiful and a fantastic time tonight. We cannot wait to run through all that we have in store for you tonight. Starting the session this evening is none else than the lead consultant and the CEO of Katzin Consult and the convener of the Career Acceleration Summit, Folake Agunbiade. She'll be starting the session for us tonight. She'll be speaking about communication skills, the key to career progression. There's so much more in store for this session. We have two other amazing speakers who will be joining us tonight. We will be having on stage as well at some point tonight. We'll be having Mr. Seyi Lala joining us live from the beautiful city of Lagos, Nigeria. And we'll also be having join us Dr. Idenyi Shaibu, join us from the beautiful city of Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria. We are in for a fantastic time. Because of our time and so that we don't overrun, I'll just like to read the profile of the lead consultant, Captain Consult, and the convener of the Career Acceleration Summit, our very own Folake Agunbiade. I'll be bringing her up shortly. I'll read her profile right about now, and then the next voice you hear after this profile is that of our beautiful, I'm sure you'll agree with me once again, beautiful convener of the Career Acceleration Summit, Folake Agunbiade. Folake Agunbiade is a management consultant and human resource capacity professional with over 18 years of experience. She possesses core expertise in management consulting, process reengineering, human resource evaluation and interventions, HR advisory, operational assessment, soft skill trainings, customer experience / seduction, life performance coaching, behavioral change, and psychotherapy. Come on. This is a full suit. Are you excited tonight? Folake holds a bachelor's degree in psychology, a certificate in customer service management from Rockhurst University, and a diploma from the Institute of Customer Service USA. She also has an MSc in organizational and industrial psychology and is currently undertaking a PhD in organizational psychology. So it's okay to tell you tonight, we have Dr. Folake Agunbiade in the house. She's a certified life and business coach who has worked with numerous organizations and high-profile individuals, and she has authored 5 best-selling books. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about a woman with a heart of gold who has put together this conference at no cost to you and I. Please make welcome with a loud ovation and a resounding encomium, the one, the only, Mrs. Folake Agunbiade. Make it rain in the comment section, everybody.
Oh my God. So excited. Mona, I see you all the way from the city of Vancouver in Canada.
Yes.
Thank you for moderating the session. By the way, Mona is a Chief Operations Officer at Katzin Consult, where she has worked with us for 9 years and counting. Yeah. Currently working remotely. And what are we talking about? Ain't it beautiful to see the amazingness of remote work? Thank you, Mona, for all you do and hosting the summit so beautifully well. So I'm excited to be taking my session tonight. And it is going to be a great time of learning. We're going to be engaging some deep thoughts around communication. How do you use communication as a key to your career progression? How important is communication to your career progression? How does it affect your growth? How does it serve as a part of your career journey? Now, one of the things I've come to realize for a very long time doing what I'm doing as the lead consultant at Katzin Consult, as an organizational psychologist, and of course, popularly known as the customer seductress, is that communication is a great skill that you must learn. For many of us, we grew up, or we have come to the awareness, or we live in the bubble that because we went to school, we can speak English language with whatever intonation you have, be it mother tongue, American accent, the UK accent, you speak whatever. You speak even pidgin English. that because you are a native English speaker, automatically you can communicate. But guess what? That is a fallacy. Communication is a skill, and for you to practice the skill of communication, you need to learn how to speak. You need to learn when to speak, and you need to learn to speak powerfully enough to connect to your audience every single time you speak. So I'm going to be jumping straight into my presentation. As human beings, we always have a desire to connect with other people. We're excited to connect with other people. We want to either speak to them in words, affection, and this leads us to use every opportunity that we have to relate with other people. We're social humans. Yes, we're social humans. Can I have my next slide? And it is important that we learn how to use that connection to get what you want. I've been a customer service trainer for almost 16 years. And over the years, one of the greatest tools to creating a memorable experience for your customer are your words. It is tied to your communication. It is tied to either your actions or your inactions, and how you communicate when you are relating with other human beings. So people never miss out of awesome opportunities that allow them to advance their lives in every area, but they can miss out if they lack communication skills. Yes, as simple as English language is, it is not communication. You know why I said so? I'm sure you're wondering. Type in the chat room why. Coach, I'm curious. I'm a life coach, by the way. Type in the chat room, Coach Folake, I'm curious. Why would you say because I speak native English as a native language, I'm not communicating? Okay, so let me break it down. Communication requires a sender and a receiver. Yeah. When you speak and people cannot articulate you in the career space, you are actually not communicating. I've run interviews for many years, and I see people of huge talents and potentials walk into the interview room, and you find them not being able to communicate. Yes, they're struggling. Strangely, one of our media partners today reminds me of a certain incident that happened to me a few years ago. So I was running an interview session for one of our media partners, running our videography for the Career Acceleration Summit. I think it was about, if I'm not confused, I think it was about 7 or 8 years ago. And in that same breath of wanting to do that interview for Studio 24, I'm going to mention the brand because they are part of our partners. I'm going to mention the brand because they are part of our partners. So I started the interview, and we have a certain specification that is particular to anyone that would work as a customer service rep at Studio 24 a certain way and self a certain way, considering that we are a lifestyle brand. Here comes this young lady who was very unassuming, not particularly memorable, if I may say, from the way she dressed. But when we walked into the interview room, we had another room where we put a CCTV camera as far back as then, and we watched the interviewees and their interaction in the room. So she sat on her own. She had her CV with her, and that particularly caught my attention. I was curious. I wondered why she was seated alone when everyone else was seated together. At some point, I had an assistant that used to go out to collect the CVs. And I decided to walk out and collect their CVs myself. The others were having a very fun time, gisting, catching up, getting to know each other, and somehow bouncing off their anxieties off each other. You know the way it can be when you go for an interview and you're wondering, what will the questions be? Do I look good enough? Do I sound good enough? Would I be able to answer the questions? What are the popular questions that might be asked? Have you done your research about the company? And people were exchanging some banter. So I walked into the room and took their CVs. I took everyone else and I walked into a little corner and collected her CV. First off, if you haven't watched how to create a compelling CV, it was streamed this afternoon during the break. You need to catch that replay. It's here in the community. So if you have not subscribed to the channel so that you can see all of the videos, even after the summit is over, you are wrong. I need you to click on the subscribe button, subscribe so that you can see all the videos even after the summit is done. So we started the interaction and I looked at the paper with which her CV was done way back 7 years ago. Concro colored paper. Oh my God. I was like, what's going on here? She didn't look the part, but she had a compelling CV. So when I walked into the room, I'm like, oh, I saw a lady out there. She doesn't look like our brand, because every brand has a personality. Every brand. Don't. If you walk into Zenith Bank, what do you see? Drop it. I want to know. I'm curious. If you walk into Zenith Bank, what do you see? What do you see when you walk into Zenith Bank? What's the brand identity for Zenith Bank? Drop it in the chat room. If you walk into GT, what do you see? If you go to Glow, what do you see? If you go to, I'm trying to look for another brand that is top notch. Can somebody share me examples? Share an example of a brand in the comment section and tell me what they exude in terms of their brand identity. In terms of their brand identity. So I was curious because she had sold us with her CV. So I walked into the room and I said, guys, come and see the CV. This CV is giving everything and more. And we all, I think there were about 4 of us on the panel. In fact, the CEO of Studio 24 was on the panel as well that day, Mr. Chris Okuta, who is my longest client in Katzin Consults as at 18 years ago. He was my first client. Yes. And I'm grateful that he was a sponsor to me. And he took a chance on me. When I look back at where I've started and where I am, I can't talk about my journey without someone like him. So it was like, let's see the CV. And everyone paired into the CV. Lo and behold, that CV was well written. For me to remember, well written. Then he said, oh, let's bring her in. Let her be the first person to come in. She walked in and I could see their faces drop. Because just like me, she didn't look like the brand. So we said, please sit. And I said, please tell me about yourself. A lot of you have been asked that question. Without your name, and I'm going to ask you that question again, whether you are a newbie, whether you're a mid-level person, or whether you are senior management. Without telling me your name, tell me about yourself. Some of you will have nothing to say. You hear things like, my name is Moses Igbekele. I come from Osun State. How does that reflect on your expertise? I'm confused. My name is Musa Hamed. I'm from Sokoto State. Are you here to interview for a job or to tell us about where you come from? Interviews are a diverse environment. We're not interested in your personal details. If we are, we'll ask you about it when we're ready. We want to know you and what makes you stand out. And she said, hello, my name is Banke. I still remember her name. And one thing that makes me stand out is that I am extremely witty. And we all turned and looked at each other like, that's the first. Then I went into the CV and looked at her age. She was the youngest person ever to walk into the interview room that day. So I assumed that she didn't know the meaning of witty. And I said to her, tell me a little about what you mean by you're very witty. And she said, I work with my mom, and a lot of our clients buy on credit. And when my mom tells me to go pick up her money from our clients, they're always very difficult. But I have a way of throwing my charm around, making them feel comfortable, telling them I'm going to go home as extra luggage for them. I'm going to wash their clothes. I'm not going to leave their shop until they give me what I want. I have a way of being playful with my banter and still getting what I want. And all of us were like, wow. Trust me, she got the job. I said all of this to reiterate that the reason why you struggle is not because you are not intelligent. It is actually because when it comes to having casual conversations about topics like work, business, or more intellectual matters, you struggle with initiating and strengthening bonds with your connection, with your conversations. You struggle with securing bonds with your conversations. You don't command the presence. You don't command the audience. You don't take over the room with your charisma. Even when you have it, you struggle. Now, one of the things that can help you with that is something called small talk. Yes, small talk is a huge part of how you can engage your audience when you are in the workplace. One of the reasons why I wrote this book, The Art of Small Talk, I'm an author of 5 best-selling books on Amazon, Seller, and other platforms. I wrote this book about 3 years ago because I looked at my career journey and I realized that for every leap and level that I change, conversations, connecting ones was integral to my career progression. When you gave me the room, I knew how to take command of it. I knew how to grab the audience. I knew how to talk in few minutes and connect to you as if I've known you all my life. Some of you will say, oh, it's because you're an extrovert. Let me bust your bubble. Conversation expertise using small talk is not dependent on whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. And I'll tell you what small talk means. Small talk, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, is a polite conversation about things that are not so serious. Sometimes even you're being overly serious is why you don't get that job when you go for an interview. You don't know how to have playful banter. I didn't say go and joke at your interviews. I say have intellectual conversations that flow effortlessly and create connections. Small talk is the foundation of grander conversations, either in your business, while securing a job, while talking to your customers, while interacting with your clients, building a bond in your team, building an opportunity to, when there's an internal recruitment, getting an opportunity to sit and be interviewed. Small talk is a large part of it for you. Small talk begins with developing the courage to approach people that you don't know well. All of you that enter into, maybe you take public transport, for instance, and you're sitting beside someone, and you find it so difficult to just say hi. It's so sad that we're beginning to live in a world where just being polite. Just having politeness and casual conversations is a struggle. Most people enjoy living in silence. You just sit down there. 5 people sit in a room and they don't even say one word to each other. Then you say, I'm praying for my benefactor to find you. Do you know who's sitting beside you? It's where I've had to take a 1-hour flight and I've secured the biggest deals for my organization, Katzin Consult, from quality conversations. I've gone for dinner dates or just casual social gatherings where I've been asked to just introduce myself. Oh, hi, my name is so and so. What do you do? Oh, you made a mistake. If you ask me what I do, I promise you, I don't need more than a minute. You will meet me, greet me, and fall in love with me. I'm not called the customer seductress for nothing. Yes, I know how to create emotional bonds, and I want to teach you. So if you're on the live tonight and you're struggling with conversations, type in the chat room, this one is for me. Yes, yes, yes. So come in closer. Pull your chair close. Get a cup of water. Yes. You need to master this one. Because that next is... My God. What's that about? I don't want you to lose your focus, stuttering through your words, or struggling when it comes to organizing yourself in small talk. I don't want that for you. I want you to be able to articulate yourself and find the best version of you possible. Now, a large part of why people struggle, which is the foundation of small talk, is around their temperaments. There's these assumptions that melancholies and phlegmatics that are introverts struggle with small talk. Another reason why I need to introduce another book to you. Help me understand my personality. I wrote this book to help everyone. I'm a psychologist by training, and I wrote this book to help everyone struggling with their communication skills and their personality profile. So you tell me, I don't like to talk. I'm tired of people. I'm irritated when I talk too much, but you want to be successful. Guess what, guys? A closed lip is a closed destiny. If you are not talking, there are rooms that you cannot enter. No matter the quality of your expertise, you must be articulating the value that you bring to the table. I'm shouting. Oh my God. Let me take a sip of water. If you don't speak for yourself, am I going to speak for you? I'm confused. Are the people who are going to help you going to speak for you? Generally, most introverts view small talk as a chore. That's why they struggle. They think it's too stressful. But guess what? If you are at the back of the room and somebody was going to take your life, would you struggle to shout for help? That is the price you have to pay for acceleration. You need to have a voice. You don't have to be loud like me. I'm loud, I know. I'm bold, I know. But you have to have your signature communication style that you put out there when you communicate. Introverts run out of things to say. That is why they struggle. So if you are an adult, you are not a young adult, you're in your 20s, 25, out of small talk is for you. And if you are a teenager or a young adult, you're in your early 20s, Help Me Chit Chat is for you. I wrote this book as conversation support books to help you to find the right things to say when you are struggling to communicate. It's a skill. Man, go to school and learn it. And stop complaining that nobody hears me. Stop the pity party. There are jobs out there you go, but you never get picked. No. Remember a core member who worked with me last year, 2 years ago. She has graduated. She came back to work with me, and now she's getting married. So she's left us. She's moved on. I remember when she came, she could barely say a word. But she's one of the most resourceful team members I have ever worked with. If you give Lillian slides to do, trust me, she will deliver it back to back. But when I had a conversation with her, she had a lot of shy tics. Some of you, they'll be saying, what's your name? What's that? Hello? What are you covering? They're asking you, what do you want? Bro, sis, do better. Go and learn how to speak. If you struggle with your diction, go online. If you struggle with your tenses, go online. If you struggle with what you need to say and how to say it, get the art of small talk or get help me chit chat. But stop complaining that because you're an introvert, guess what? As an extrovert, you can have a lot to say and be yarning jargons. Another extremity. Extroverts, especially sanguines, struggle with saying a lot without much substance. And that's not an insult to any sanguine in the room. I'm a sanguine. I'm a sandclaw. But I've learned to put some in-depth knowledge into myself so that when I speak, I make sense. I remember when I was much younger. I don't have much time, so I need to start running through my presentation. I remember when I was much younger, when I was in secondary school and primary school, my teachers would always write in my report card, she would do better if only she talked less. I wish some of them could come into the room tonight. The girl they used to call talkative then is now the talk active. My talk is active. Is making money for me in 6 figures and more. So what are we talking about? So if you're an extrovert, you need to put some value into what you speak so that when you speak, you make sense. Okay? I don't have much time. So techniques for small talk. Some of you might be asking me, Coach Folake, tell me a little. Teach me how to do this small talk in a quick and easy way. Number 1, briefly introduce yourself and find common ground. Hi, my name is Folake. It's raining cats and dogs in the city of Abuja. What's happening at your end? Simple and easy. I didn't lie. It's actually raining cats and dogs. If you notice when we started the session, I had to start on one device, land on another device, because we've been dealing with technical issues. But that didn't stop me from jumping into the room and being here with you. Introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Lisa Field Vaughn, and I love dogs. Are you a dog lover? Say something about you. Oh, hi, I can see your name tag says you are Daniel. What do you do for a living? That's not a bad idea. Hello. Oh my God, the weather is so hot. Would you like a drink? I want to get a drink. Simple things like that open the door for you. So introduce yourself. If you're meeting someone for the first time, say something about yourself. Shake their hands. If it's a shaking environment, exchange greetings and introduce yourself. Number 2, give a compliment. I love your glasses. Please don't lie, guys. They will know. Because guess what? When you are communicating, only 7% of your communication is in your words. 93% of your communication is what you're not saying, your non-verbal communication. So the person is not looking good. Now say, oh, you look so fine today. Trust me. As you're saying the words, your body language will give you away that they are not fine. And they will know that you're not genuine. Look for one thing about them that you like so much and compliment them. Everyone responds positively to a compliment. Once you do that, you have broken the ice. So what do you do next? Use open-ended questions. Very easy. Open-ended questions are questions that you can't say yes or no to. You have to say more. So you want to ask someone something like, typical questions that are not close-ended will make them open up to you and say more. I've been around waiting for this interview. Wow, I'm back. I'm so sorry for that glitch. So I was saying that you need to use open-ended questions that cause you need to use open-ended questions that cause you to get that person to talk a bit more. So you say things like, hi, my name is Folake. You know, I came all the way from so city to attend this interview. Where are you coming from? Oh, I came from Abuja. I came from Port Harcourt. And I'm going back tomorrow. Wow. I've heard about Port Harcourt. It's such a beautiful city. Which part of Port Harcourt do you live in? And they begin to tell you about their city. And the conversation begins to flow. The next thing you need to do, closing out on using small talk or engaging small talk, is that you need to listen attentively and watch their body language. If you say something that they are not connecting to, backtrack very quickly. Backtrack. Take yourself out of that situation and fix it very quickly, okay? If you are learning, let me know. Type in the chat room, I'm learning. Have you shared the live stream? I'm just wondering. Have you shared the live stream? Are you enjoying the session? Has it, been a blessing to you in any way? Are you being empowered? Is it opening up your mind to do new things? Please, I want to know in the chat room. I can see the comments. Thank you. Thank you. Nena, I see you. Tommy Oni, I see you. Israel Ojade, I see you. Inena says, I'm learning. Thank you for the feedback. Sometimes it's good to hear from you so that I know what else I need to put into the presentation. I'm learning 100%. Fantastic. Fantastic. If you have any questions, hit the chat room and put in your questions so that I can answer them as well. So, if you have started the small talk, how do you build brilliant conversations? I hope my timer is on so that I don't overshoot my time. Please let me know, the team backstage, how many more minutes I have. How do you build brilliant conversations from small talk? Conversations come and conversations go. And they're so important that you learn how to frame a conversation in a way that gives you power. It gets you to connect either with your professional growth, your academic growth. I remember when I did my master's a few years ago, I'm currently doing my PhD. One of the reasons why I was a top scorer during my master's was my dissertation, my thesis. And my presentation skills got me the highest scores in my class. So I don't just use it in my professional life. I use it in my academic life. I use it in my relationships. I use it in therapy. I use it in coaching. I use it in my friendships. I use it in my marriage. I use it in helping young people become and old people understand what else to do. Very important. The awareness that brilliant conversation gives you is a healthy control of not take you away Okay, so we're sorry for that break in transmission. You know, it's still raining and we still have to keep doing what we're doing here tonight. So, how do you build the bricks for connections when you are having brilliant conversations? Number one, there are different types of events. Oh, that top looks so hot on you as a guy. That's so rude. That's a gendered statement. You could actually be labeled as, you know, committing some acts of sexual harassment. So you don't say that to a business colleague. You keep it professional. There are conversation starters for dinner. There are some you use in the office. There's some you use at parties. But you need to master all of this to get you to where you need to be. So I'm going to teach you just an ABC, you know, flow for mastering your conversations. Number one, A, accurate. Always ensure that whatever you are saying are facts. Those of you that like to embellish, this table is for you. You struggle with saying the truth, or you struggle with constructing proper grammar. Work on your grammar. I'm not even bothered about your intonation. Hello, English is not your mother tongue. You can have any intonation that comes with your mother tongue, because really, ethically, the best English speakers speak their mother tongue before they learn how to speak English. So it's not bad if when you speak, you have certain intonations that show where you come from. It's not a problem. However, it is bad when you can't construct proper grammar. It's appalling. You're looking to bid for a job and you're struggling with your tenses. No matter how intelligent you are, people like me, and I know there are many of us out there that will leave the room as the bullet starts to fly. So you don't need to go back to school, but you can actually study English language on YouTube. Make sure that your grammar is proper. No is for was or them for he. No. Speak well. Use your tenses well. Pick your grammar well. Again, I said, speaking well has nothing to do with your intonation. It is proper use of English language. The B, make sure your message is brief enough. We have people come into the interview room or you are in an engagement and they talk your ears off. You're just going on and on and on and on and on and on. And you like the sound of your own voice. There can be a huge problem with that. Yes, a huge problem with that. So make it brief enough for the listener to take in, respond, then you speak again. It is not conversation when you are the only one speaking and no one is responding. There's a problem. Problem, Tiwa. If you are not a Nigerian, it means problem is available. In that situation, there's a huge problem. You must ensure that your learner can hear you, take in, respond, then you continue. Number 3, be clear. Define your concept using numbers rather than comparisons. So sorry for that break. So sorry for that glitch. We're back. It was a good place to pause. And if you want to take a swipe at your water, please do. I'm going to take some of mine. They will not tension me in this studio today. I will not be shaken. So I said, define your concepts by using numbers rather than using comparators. You want to talk about yourself in an interview and you say, I was best staff in my organization 4 years in a row. Who are you competing against? Why were you giving best staff? What was the percentage of sales that you made or the achievements that you collated with numbers? I sealed 20 new clients for my organization in the first quarter of 2024. Impressive. More than I was best staff. Very subjective. Use your numbers. What did I say? Use your numbers. Even in your CV, use your numbers. Don't be subjective, rather be objective. So, how do you communicate effectively without words? If your words are just 7%, that means a large part of your communication is in nonverbal. Your tone, your pitch, your gestures, your vocal dexterity, your enunciation, your pauses, and every other part of your conversation goes along with the 7% of your words. You can't be raising your voice at an interview and they have to be telling you you're shouting. They now say, I'm not shouting. This is my real voice. I'm just nervous. Hello? No. In fact, there are times when you are so good that you need to pause and leave them wanting more. They say, tell me more. Then you continue. You need to know how to use your nonverbal communication. It's a skill. Nonverbal communications help you, and they can work either against you or for you. It can work for your advantage when you know how to use it. We can't teach you all of that in this class. Get a copy of any of my 5 books, and it will help you. Follow this particular YouTube channel. There are videos that I've done over the past 4-5 years around some of these things that can improve your connections. Follow, like, comment, share with your family, friends, and your professional circle. Lastly, as I round up, how do you level and leverage small talk for professional growth, aka the elevator pitch? This is the slam dunk of small talk. Yeah, you need to get it right. You need to introduce yourself to your career benefactors
and business prospects in a compelling way, not in a creepy way. I've met people who wanted me to hire them, but they were just all over me. I'm like, what's going on here? Am I confused? What's going on here? Introduce yourself in your professional network. Some of you have been on the live stream and you haven't dropped a single hello. My name is Folake Agunbiade. I am known as the customer seductress, and I am a psychologist by training, a coach by career advancement, a therapist for teenagers and young adults by passion, and I love to help small businesses as a management consultant. You can't hear that and you'll be like, if the customer seductress is not disturbing you, many of the simple things I just said now will intrigue you. It will trigger something. So before we close the session today, I want you to give me a compelling introduction of yourself in the chat room. People are watching this live stream from across the world. Some of them are going to catch the replay. Please make it memorable. Put yourself out there. Put yourself out there. Make new friends in the comment section. Bring your vibe to the table and let's make it work. It must be engaging. It must be memorable. And of course, it must be concise. So what are the winning conversations with elevator pitch? What are the 4 things you need to know in mind? Know your goals. Consider the goal of the pitch. Do you want to sell? Do you have a unique selling point? Do you have an ask? Some of you, when you are having conversations, you know where you are going. We are dancing around. If you have 1 minute to ask me for something, please make it straight, simple, compelling, and give your ask. You must have an ask if it's a professional conversation. Do you want to tell a potential customer about your company or your business? Know your goal. Number 2, explain what you do and how you do it. In simple terms, no ambiguity, no big language. You meet someone and the first thing you want to say is, my name is Folake Agunbiade. I'm the MD CEO CatSync Consult. Who knows CatSync? Yes, CatSync is quite known, but you're going to be in spaces where nobody knows CatSync and they're not interested. So please, can you bring your A game to the level of personal branding and sell your expertise in what you know how to do? The 3rd one is communicate your unique selling point, your USP. What is different about me? I always say that often. I ensure that whatever I am doing with you, I will create a compelling solution that enables us to move from just being friends to family. Emotional connections is it for me. And everyone loves to feel loved. That's my unique selling point. Whether I'm coaching, whether I'm training, whether I'm doing therapy, whether I'm a public speaking, whether I'm writing, I put all of these engaging conversations into my work. Then the last thing is ask a question. Ask an open-ended question to engage the person you're talking to or your audience. What can I do for you today? Can I help you? Would that be all? Can I tell you more? Always have something to say at the end of your elevator pitch. What are the don'ts of your elevator pitch? Don't speak too quickly. Some of you rush your words because you're nervous and you have a very short time, just want to run through everything. No. Stay away from rambling. Meaningless rambles. Stay away from it. Very important. Use different elevator pitches for different situations. Tailor it the way you tailor your CV for different roles. Put the keywords in there and let the people connect with you. Permit interjections. Allow the person you're speaking to ask you questions during the conversations. And the last one is don't frown, or speak monotonously. Don't allow your nonverbal communication take over your conversation. Be in control. In conclusion, there are 8 billion people living on Earth. This number increases the chances of human interactions with each other to almost 100%. There's nowhere to hide. You have to interact with your world. You have to tell us what you want. You have to bid for that job. You have to sell yourself at that interview. You have to sell to your clients. You have to prove to your organization that you have sense and you know what you're doing. Small talk cannot be overemphasized, and you have to keep speaking. So I want to encourage you to keep winning with connecting conversations. Thank you, and would that be all? Thank you, everyone.
Amazing. See, I had to write you're giving it to us hot. Somebody in the comment section just shouts at us, no problem. It was fantastic. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
I think one of the things that struck me is, it's communication is the bedrock of getting what you want. A closed lip is a closed destiny. You have to keep speaking.
True.
And one of the things I always hear that I've heard recently, and a lot it's prevalent here, is they say hire for personality, train for skill. So they're just going to say if you have candidates in the room, the person with the best personality, even though he or she may be the least qualified, consider hiring that person, then train the person. So really your social skills, your communication skills, that's what really sets you apart. Amazing. Like I'm so pumped.
Thank you, everyone.
So pumped.
Please drop your questions. I will be back to take you during the panel session.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. Please, we'll be looking forward to your questions. We'll be looking forward to your questions. And she has given us an assignment. What is your elevator pitch? That's something you need to work on. So this is a good place to stop for now while I go ahead and introduce the next speaker. So our next speaker is coming on. Can we have his profile on the screen? I'm going to read it from my device. Yes, Mr. Seyi Lala. He's going to be taking us on work ethics for career advancement and acceleration. Wow. Seyi Lala, he's currently working as Deputy CTO for Enterprise Business Group for a leading telco in Nigeria. He was formerly the head transport, planning, IoT, and enterprise solutions at 9Mobile Nigeria, which was formerly Etisalat. Mr. Lala has got over 2 decades of experience in the ICT industry. I mean, that should pick people's ears. Anybody that's even interested in that, you know how to direct your questions. 2 decades of experience, that's a lot. Mr. Lala completed his MBA studies in 2013 at Warwick Business School with a focus on entrepreneurship, new venture creation, and business strategy. Mr. Lala was one of the lead solution architects across all telcos in Nigeria for the deployment of electronic biometric verification and access system. That's what we popularly call the BVAS. That which was used by INEC for the first time in the 2019 general elections in Nigeria. Amazing, amazing profile. He also provided valuable support for the use of the system in the 2023 general elections. Please, let's keep it loud. Let's make it warm as we welcome the next speaker onto the platform, Mr. Seyi Lala. Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Seyi Lala.
Hello, Mona. How are you doing? Can you hear me?
Very well. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. We've been looking forward to this, waiting for you.
Wow,
I'm going to use the floor now.
Right. So thank you very much. It's great to be here. And what a fantastic session that Mrs. Agunbiade just had. And I don't even know where to start because now I'm a little bit intimidated because I have to now, get up to that level. And that has been the same thing across board for all the morning session facilitators and all of that. It was so fantastic. I'm looking forward to this session. I would quickly load up my slide if you can do that for me. And then we'll start. So first off, it's a great privilege to be here. Myself and Mrs. Agunbiade are kind of aligned when it comes to career acceleration for people. I have a huge passion, to give back to people. Like you rightly said, I have over 2 decades, closing to 3 decades now, 26 years experience in the industry. And for me, it's getting to a point now that I see the gap, especially in Nigeria, with the newbies and some mid-level professionals that need us to help them in terms of mentorship and coaching, in terms of how to get, accelerate their career to a level where, they want to be in terms of how things work out for them. So it's a great honor to be here. And I want to say a big thank you to Mrs. Agunbiade for, putting this together, for inviting me to this platform, and a big thank you to all of the other members of the faculty. I'll particularly call out Mr. Salvador because, he was talking about personal branding. My name is Oluseyi Lala. My last name is Lala. And I push it out there as my name a lot of the times, just like he said he does for his last name, because it's almost an icebreaker immediately I get into any environment or any conversation. I just mentioned my name is Lala. Some people don't even know what my first name is because I mentioned Lala and everybody's like, oh, wait, are you Nigerian? Where are you from? And immediately I break the ice and we start talking. So thank you so much for the privilege to be here. I'll just run through this quickly about me. And this is very, very intentional. I'm God's unique masterpiece, 1 in 8 billion on earth, just like Mr. Agunbiade was saying. I'm family oriented. I'm blessed with a wonderful wife. That's my family there in that picture, my wife and my 2 kids. And the third thing about me is I'm a techie. And just to, take off from where she stopped about communication, this is how I usually introduce myself to anybody. It's kind of unique, and I've kind of mastered how to go about it in this order. I'm God's masterpiece because I have, my connection with God. I'm highly spiritual in the way I do my things. I'm not talking about religion. I'm just talking about, connecting to God, who is the creator of everything. And then I talk about my family almost immediately. I don't spend 2 minutes with you without talking about my kids or my wife or about the things we've done, lately and all of that. And then the last part is I'm a techie. I love technology. I've been doing this, like I said, for over 2 decades. Now, the other thing about me, briefly, before we go into the topic, is about my priorities. I love this quote from Mary Kay Ash. She's the founder of Mary Kay Cosmetics. I know a lot of people will know about that. And she made this statement in the year 1995, and it just stuck with me since then. She said that my priorities have always been God first, family second, career third. I have found that when I put my life in this order, everything seems to work out. And that is my experience. So going back to what Mr. Salvador said about personal branding, I have maintained a personal brand for a long time. It's called Shalom Esquire. That's my brand. I have a snippet where I write, I blog, and do things called, Shalom Esquire snippet. And my priorities are just the same as Mary Kay Ash. God first, family next, and then my career. It is very, very intentional. And I'll just put a question there for you to think about, as we go through this session. What are your priorities? I'll give you a typical example. I put my family first because there's this notion about, work-life balance. I call it life-work integration, where, your life is important because no matter how good you are in your office, in your career, if anything happens to you, they would support you for a while. But if it's something that becomes like difficult to kind of resolve, after a while, they'll start looking for someone to replace you. So your family is the one that would actually sit with you on that hospital bed, walk with you through that illness and all of that. So my orientation is slightly different and it's completely intentional. I give God priority, I give my family priority, and then my career. It looks strange, it looks interesting, but believe me, these are icebreakers in any conversation I have, whether I'm in a social gathering or a corporate environment or I'm doing, anything. I always remember my priorities and I use that in my conversations. Last thing that I want to talk about, for a while now, I've been doing a research on productivity because I'm very big about that. I like to make research about different topics. And over the years, I've been working on productivity. And I found this, Harvard Business Review article in 2001 that kind of resonated with me. That article was talking about corporate athletes. It's actually the making of a corporate athlete. And in that article, this graphic, this picture, was there, and it's called the pyramid of productivity. And it just kind of explains everything for me in terms of my prioritization as well. So you can see in this pyramid, your physical capacity is at the bottom. On top of that, your emotional capacity, then your mental capacity, and then your spiritual capacity. This is Harvard Business Review article, ladies and gentlemen. So a lot of the times we try and shy away from spirituality. This is actually part of your productivity. So in summary, there are 4 levels or 4 areas that you need to develop from a capacity point of view to be a highly productive person, to be a corporate athlete that is a high performer. Your spirituality at the top, your mental capacity, your emotional capacity, and then your physical capacity. This slide alone, we can, unpack it in another hour, but I just wanted to flag that just to give you a brief about me as we go into the topic. So let's dive into the topic. It's essential work ethics for career advancement and acceleration. And I'll just like to start by breaking down, the words. So according to personio.com, a work ethic is a personal set of values. So we're talking about values here that determines how an employee approaches their work. I will be going back to some of the things that Mr. Salvador said because it just kind of gels together. Your personal branding is your personal set of values. Those are the things that determine your work ethic. Employees with strong work ethics are highly motivated and they produce consistently high quality results. That's why they're going to be, high flyers, because of the set of personal values that they work with and they put together. A good work ethic can be taught as long as more productive behaviors are clearly demonstrated. I'll take a pause here and talk about the picture on the right-hand side. I have, a big magnet that is tagged work ethic. And then I have an iron ball called success. Essentially, what this picture is saying is that your work ethic will attract success. Again, let me take a step back. Imagery is important as human beings. And I'll give a typical example. If I'm talking about a dog, you don't think of the letters D-O-G. You actually think of a picture of a dog. If I give you more information, that picture will change. So for example, if I say it's a Dalmatian dog, your picture in your mind will change. If I say it's an Alsatian dog, that picture in your mind changes. If I talk about an elephant, you have a picture in your mind. But if I say Jumbo the elephant, Jumbo is pink with big ears. That picture also changes in your mind. The reason I'm saying this is this last statement. A good work ethic can be taught, but it has to be displayed for people to copy it. We usually copy the things we see. If you look at the parent-child relationship, anything the parent does, 99% of the time, the child will copy it because imagery is important. We're created in the image and likeness of God. So we have pictures in our mind. That's how our mind operates. And you will understand why I'm going in that flow because, again, if you go back to my last slide about productivity, spirituality was there. So I hope you understand why I'm going back and forth and, giving you those kind of analysis and those kind of quotes. So let's go a little bit deeper. I just highlighted the 12 pillars of work ethic for career professionals. And like I said about imagery, I put a picture of a pillar in there so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. And that can set a picture in your mind that, look, for you to be successful, to be a highly productive, career person, these are essential pillars that you need to have. And we'll break them into, batches because I like to take a pause and just, get to see, if this is sinking. I'm not going to rush this. We're going to take it a step at a time. So these are the 12 pillars of work ethics. I'll just run through this because the next page we're breaking them down into batches. So professionalism is one, and professionalism cuts across a lot of things. I mean, the way you dress is important. I usually love this expression that you are addressed the way you dress. And I tell a lot of people I am intentional about my dressing. I dress properly. I dress, as if I stepped out of a GQ magazine, because I understand that I'll be addressed the way I dress. It's part of my professionalism. I talk very well. I am courteous when I'm talking. I don't use, funny slangs when I'm talking in a professional setting. And that is also part of your brand, because people can say, oh, look, in this office, Mr. Lala is different. He dresses sharply. His English is perfect. Just like, Mr. Agunbiade said, it doesn't matter your intonation. Just ensure that your grammar is correct. And there are a lot of resources online that can help you with it. You can even speak and record yourself and listen back to hear how you sound, and then you can make adjustment. Second thing is punctuality and time management. And believe me, when I was starting out in my career, this was a major issue for me. One of my very first manager usually says jokingly that, look, you can get Seyi to stay at work till late in the night, but you can't get him to come early in the morning. And he just says it jokingly, but after a while, I realized that, look, if I'm going to go up the corporate ladder, I need to display that level of time management and punctuality to the rest of the team I lead. So I started working on myself to the point now that if I have a meeting for 11 o'clock, I'm seated by 10:40, 10:45, because it allows me to be in the room early enough. Some of the other people that come in, we can have what is called meeting before the meeting and just, gist and align before the meeting starts. And I see that it helps me. So punctuality is one. Time management is another. A lot of people say, oh, I'm doing so many things, I don't have time. But I can tell you, if I sit down with you and analyze your 24 hours, I can show you pockets of time that you can take advantage of to be productive. So that's a second pillar. Accountability is another one. Do you say the things you're going to, what you say you're going to do you actually do them? For me personally, my expression is that my word is my bond. So if I tell you I'll be there at 11 o'clock, believe me, I'll be there at 11 o'clock, except something drastic happens. And if it happens, I will notify you to say, oh, give me an extra 20 minutes, I'm running late and all of that. And this cuts across too when it comes to, those that are going for interviews. If you're a newbie and you're going for an interview and you don't know the place, try and, go there a day before or 2 days before to just understand your route to the interview location. Try and confirm, is it the 3rd floor? Is it the 10th floor? Just know the timelines that will take you to commute from your house to the place, and then put a buffer in there. That's also, part of your pillars as work ethic. Continuous learning and adaptability is another major one. And this goes back to one of the faculty members early in the morning that talked about, learning as a continuous habit. That should be a work ethic you should imbibe or kind of develop. Constantly learn new things. I can't remember if it was Mrs. Agunbiade that said something about she tries to learn something new every day. I have been doing that over the years, close to 30 years now. There's a website I go to, howstuffworks.com. And I just go to that website and I just read about stuff, how the atomic bomb was made, how, a solar eclipse works. Because, again, it helps me in my communication. So if I see someone that we're related in a particular area, I can drop that to say, oh, by the way, you know how the eclipse works? And I can explain that, and we break the ice and we start communicating. The 5th pillar is your high quality of work. A lot of the times, people don't deliver high quality. We always just deliver best effort. And I hear this expression every time at work that, oh, they are using me at work. Hello? You're at work. The whole essence of work is exchange of value. You give them your ability and your skill, and you exchange it for money after 30 days. So yes, it's an exchange. So what you need to do is concentrate between that 9 and 5 to deliver high quality work. That should be a work ethic as well. And just like Mrs. Agunbiade said, is as if she's reading my script. Effective communication skill is a work ethic. You need to be able to communicate. And I do this a lot with my team. If I see anyone that, like an introvert or doesn't want to talk, I push them to do presentation within the team to say, okay, you know what, pick a topic. Like I said, I'm a techie, so I'll be like cloud computing. We're talking about it next week. So you do a research, you put your slides together, and in the internal meeting, just within the team, you come and present, because you need to be able to communicate effectively as a work ethic, as a skill, if you want to climb the corporate ladder. The seventh thing is teamwork and collaboration. So you can't say that, oh, you are in an environment, you're in a team, and you're not contributing. You need to show that you have, that spirit, the team spirit, that you can work in a team and you can collaborate. And part of collaboration is you are dropping ideas. You're not just saying, oh, let everybody just do what they want to do, and then you're just there on the side to just get the applause when it's done. No, you're supposed to be able to contribute. For international organizations, they actually recruit people that they call IC, individual contributors, and then they put you in a team, and you have a team possibly around the world where sometimes you're not even physically with them and you have to work with them. So things like this also helps, where you're comfortable before the camera, you can talk, you can communicate with people. These days teams are across multiple zones, and they have multicultural teams. So I have someone possibly from Germany that I'm working with. While I'm trying to work with that person, I will ask, okay, so what's unique about Germany? I'll go and do some checks online to know, okay, which area of Germany do you live in? Things like that, because that is the skill set that you need in this new century where we're, everything is now the now of work. I remember around 2020 when COVID happened. Prior to that, a lot of people would not even believe that people can work remotely, because the set of managers that we had at the time want you seated in front of them, staying glued to a computer, and that's how they know you're working. But now people work remotely in the comfort of their home, and they still deliver quality. So these are things that you need to highlight as a work ethic. Number 8, problem solving and initiative. You need to be a problem solver. One of the things I use personally as my personal brand when I'm trying to break ice in any conversation is to say, oh, hi, my name is Lala. I'm a solution provider. And they're like, oh, really? What does that mean? I'm like, see, I can provide any solution because I have a growth mindset. I've dropped like 2 things that can keep them, thinking like, oh, this guy is different. I have that mindset to be a problem solver. So you also need to have that work ethic to be a problem solver. Don't just be like someone that says, oh, this is not my area, it doesn't concern me, that kind of a thing. Learn to collaborate, learn to show that you can solve problems, learn to initiate things. A lot of the times we always wait for others to initiate it. If you're going to be a leader, if you're going to be a high flyer, a career professional that is delivering quality, you have to be an initiator. A lot of the times there are things that I just take a white, PowerPoint slide presentation, white canvas, and I just think about something and I'm like, okay, if I add this, and before you know it, I have something that I can work with. It's always easy to work on someone else's work, but it's slightly difficult if you're initiating. So you need to also have that as a work ethic. Number 9 is ethical behavior and integrity. So, like I said earlier, under accountability, my word is my bond. If I tell you, look, I'm supporting you for this, I'm doing that. And that's a level of integrity I've maintained over the years. So it's a personal brand for me. If I get into some place and I tell you, oh, okay, I'm going to look at this team and we're going to find a way to, recruit more people, you can take that to the bank because I will do everything possible in my power to do that. So that's integrity, that's ethical behavior. There are sets of rules, in the corporate environment of things you have to do ethically. You can't collect bribe, you can't lie, you can't cheat, things like that. That should be a work ethic for you as an individual. Number 10 is resilience and perseverance. So every time, I think it was one of the one of the faculty members earlier in the morning that was talking about the two sides of life, Mrs. Fashino, if I remember correctly. There is up and down, there is, start and finish and things like that. I call it the vital signs of life. I don't know if you have gone to the hospital to do a checkup and they plug, to your chest and you see the sine wave going up and down. That's just how life is. You have ups, you have downs, and there are periods where you're facing, a difficult thing. This is where your resilience comes to play. This is where your perseverance comes to play, where you say, look, I'm not giving up until I win. I have this mantra I tell myself every time, and that is, I say to myself, I don't lose. Sometimes I win, sometimes I learn, but I don't lose. And that is the perseverance. And the picture I have in my mind, remember I talked about picture, is a picture of a bulldog that is biting and holding on to something. That is the picture I have in my mind. So when I'm facing, a difficult situation or a crisis, I have that picture in my mind, and I keep saying to myself, I'm a bulldog. The reason why a bulldog can hold on to something for a long time? The structure of their mouth and the position of their nose. A bulldog can hold on to something and bite it and still be breathing. Go and check any other dog. They can't do that because the way their nose is positioned, if they bite something, it will block them. It will block the nostrils from breathing. But a bulldog can do that. So I always have that mentality in my mind when I'm facing a crisis or something is coming that I need to persevere or be resilient about. And that's the mindset. Number 11, networking and relationship building. So I see a lot of people have profiles on LinkedIn for years and they've not used it for anything in terms of networking. You need to be able to network. I have this principle that whoever I need to reach is just 6 people away from me. So if I reach Mrs. Agunbiade now and I talk about something, she will know somebody that can help me. That will be the second person. That person will know somebody, and 6 people away, I can get anything I'm looking for. That's the power of networking. So you're on LinkedIn, please. Again, I'll go back to personal branding. Use a proper picture. Take a picture of yourself, put it there, update your profile, put the things you like as hobbies. If you're doing any volunteering work, put it in there and start to look for people that you have similar interests. I'm a football fan, so a lot of times as part of my icebreaker, I'll talk about my football club. If you like it or not, I will talk about it. And I'll say, oh yeah, we're doing better this season than last season. Oh, how about your club? What club is that? It could be across the English Premier League or the La Liga or whatever, or the Serie A in Italy. You need to network. You need to build relationship because relationship makes the world to spin around. And I think Mona was one that mentioned this earlier, that communication is like the lifeblood of any relationship. Communication is key. So you need to have that as a work ethic. And the last one is constructive feedback and self-improvement. And I'll use a typical example for this. So if you are planning to be fit in terms of your physical health and all of that, and you say, look, I'm going to do 500 steps a day. The moment you start hitting that 500 step, you should be increasing your target to like 750. Once you hit 750, increase your target to like 1,000. It's called Kaizen. It's a Japanese word that means small incremental improvement. That should be a work ethic as well. If you have done something last week and you have the opportunity to do the same thing this week, can we see some improvement? Even if you're changing the colors or you're changing the font size or you're increasing, something, always have that at the back of your mind, self-improvement. I tell myself every day that the most difficult person that I deal with is myself. And what I strive to do is to be a better person than I was yesterday, right? And there is this mantra from the US Navy SEALs. They say that the easiest day was yesterday. That's their mantra. And I have that mindset as well. I am constantly looking to improve myself. I can bet you after this session, I'm going to listen to this all over again and jot down the things I see that I need to improve myself on. That's the way I work. Again, I'm linking work ethics with your brand. If people know you that, look, this is someone that would self-critique himself or herself and always look for improvement, then you start to get that attraction from your peers, from your managers, from management, upper management, because when you have this work ethics, it will show. You can't hide. You become a golden fish. It will show. And people will start recognizing you. People will start coming to you. Remember the picture at the start. Your work ethics will attract success. So let's take a deeper dive. I'll just run through this because I've taken time to, highlight everything. And I hope I'm getting comments and questions in the comment section that we'll deal with, during the panel session later on. So again, some of these things I've mentioned as well. So it's just for you to still have it at the back of your mind. So this is a deep dive number 1 because I broke them into 3 to make it easier. So professionalism is conducting yourself with integrity, have a positive attitude, demonstrate respect towards your colleagues, your clients, and management. And yes, I know respect is a two-way street, but guess what? You need to show respect to get respect. And I'll give you a typical example. You're sending an email to someone. Just say, Mr. So and so. Good morning. This is what I'm looking for. I have experienced this. The response will usually be Mr. Lala. Good morning. But if you say hi, they will also respond and say hello. You have to be professional because these are the things that top career professionals, top management is looking out for. If you have that as part of your work ethic, you begin to attract success. Punctuality and time management. Be reliable. Show up on time for meetings. If there's a deadline for something, then commit to it. If you're not going to meet it, then inform the person to say, oh, there's a slight thing here. Just give me an extra hour or 2 hours, and then work within that to be able to deliver. It signals that you are committed and trustworthy. And believe me, these are the things that upper management is looking for. Somebody committed, somebody trustworthy, because I think it was Mr. Salvador again that mentioned this, that your personal brand will become the organization brand the more you align yourself. And once you know your brand, people will recognize you for that. Again, accountability is another one. Take ownership of your work. I like to say this. There is this video I see online of a polar bear that was strolling past a traffic cone that was upside down, and usually other people will just walk past, but this polar bear just goes and turns the cone the right side up and kept walking on. And I laugh usually when I see that, because a lot of people will be like, see, this is not my job, let me just stay back and all that. No, offer to help, go the extra mile, show that you can take ownership of stuff, take ownership of decisions. You're in a meeting and people are not decisive. You know what? Let's just take a stab at this and go this way. People will look at you in the room and be like, wow, okay, you're different. That's a work ethic. Let everybody realize that mistakes are part of it. I like to say it this way. When I fall down, it's part of the dance. Mistakes are part of it. If you don't make mistakes, you won't know the things you've done, wrong. And yes, other people's mistakes would help you, but you also need to make your mistakes so that you can learn from it. I prefer other people's mistakes. So somebody's walking into a ditch now ahead of me. It's better I know that that person has walked into a ditch and me, I avoid it, than me falling in myself. But there are times that you can't, avoid it, and you have to just run through your mistake and learn from it. Those that don't make mistakes, they don't really amount to anything, because it is in the factory of mistakes at the back end, which is your workshop, that you learn the right things to show in the front end, which is your showroom. And that's what accountability is all about. Employers value employees who accept responsibility and find solution, as it reflects a high level of maturity. Remember what I said. Usually I introduce myself as a solution provider. And that's true. I'm not lying about that. And I tell you, look, I am that resourceful that if I don't know the answer to the question you're asking me, I can go and find out and come back. That is how resourceful I am. And I mentioned that in interviews, when I go for interviews, to say, look, I'm accountable. I take ownership of myself. I work effectively alone or in a team. I don't need to be supervised because I am responsible as an employee. This is the second dive. We're almost done. And I hope you guys are enjoying this. Continuous learning and adaptability. So you need to demonstrate a willingness to learn new skills, embrace change, and adapt to evolving business needs. It's a very dynamic world. Like I was mentioning earlier, nobody knew about COVID was going to come in 2020. A typical employer wants everybody seated in the office, working 9 to 5. But when COVID happened, everybody had to adjust. People had to learn new skills. I am a techie. I know how to use all the collaborative tools, but I took another course on LinkedIn on how to use some of these tools like Teams, like Zoom, and all of that, because I knew that it was going to get important with everybody working from home. So are you open to learn new skills? One of the habits or ethics of a career professional is continuous learning. Make learning, a continuous habit. And I give an example of what I do. I go to howstuffworks.com and just read up something, on a regular basis. Staying updated on your industry trends and technologies will make you an asset to the organization. I've given that example as well. Be up to date, update your LinkedIn profile, go for events that pertain to your industry. I am a techie, so I go for all of the different, technology events, either virtual or physical. I just want to know what's happening. So from a mobile technology point of view, there's always this Mobile World Congress that happens. I'm always, tuned in. If I can't go physically, I make sure I'm there online. Even when I'm working, I can split my screen and put it on one side, and I just, get plugged in and I'm listening to stuff. So in the next conversation, I can talk about it that, oh, do you know 6G is already operational in South Korea? And people will be like, oh, wow, yeah, I learned that in one of the conferences I listened to. So it doesn't have to be something physical. You can just join online. And there's so many free things out there that you can, use to quickly learn and continue to learn about your technical skill, in your own area. And of course, high quality work, constantly delivering high quality will speak volumes of you as an individual. It will show your level of dedication and attention to details. People say the devil is in the detail, right? I usually say that the demand, the love is in the details for high quality work. To deliver high quality work, the details are important. A lot of the times when I'm doing something, if I'm working on a slide or I'm writing something, I read it like 3 times before I send it out. So I'm chatting on WhatsApp and it's something very important, or I'm sending an important email, I will read through it at least 3 times before I send it out, because I am open and I'm dedicated to that attention for details, and it shows the high quality of my work as well. Effective communication skills, we've talked about that. Mrs. Agunbiade mentioned that in the last session. So I'll just quickly go to the next one, deep dive number 3. This is the next batch. Teamwork and collaboration, the ability to work with others, share ideas. Like I said, these days you have teams that are not physically in the same place, and they're all scattered around the world. Someone is in Germany, someone is in the UK, someone is in Poland, someone is in Russia or China, and you're supposed to work with them. How do you work with them? How do you understand the different cultures? Chinese New Year comes. Do you say, oh, do you ask them, is it the year of the rabbit? Is it the year of the mouse? Things like that. If you do that, you're breaking the ice with your teammates, and that helps you to collaborate with them, more. Being a good team player often leads you to start taking up leadership roles and greater responsibility. So you can see it's an exchange of value. People usually like to be promoted first before they show the value. It's the other way around. You show the value first. So if you're a manager now and you're looking to be promoted to a senior manager, you better start showing that you can actually function at that level right now. Because if you do, I can tell you that it's only a matter of you get promoted to that level, because the executive management or the management committee would have seen that, oh, this guy can actually, fly at that level, and then they can promote you. Don't wait to say, oh, let them promote me first and then I'll show what I can do. No, it's the other way around. Same thing with problem solving and taking initiative. We've talked about ethical behaviors, honesty, fairness, ethical practices, building trust with your colleagues and management. Like I said, for me personally, my word is my bond. If I say something, I'm going to do it. Integrity is highly valued by employers, and it helps them in establishing a reputation that can fast track your career growth. Now, this is very important. I did a course with the University of Pennsylvania a while back that talks about integrity. And the definition is being the same person irrespective of the situation. So you are the same person at home, you are the same person at work, you are the same person in a social gathering, you are the same person when you are relaxing with your friends. All through, you are the same person. That is integrity. I'll run through to the last batch. This is batch 4. We talked about resilience and perseverance. Challenges come your way. Are you going to give up, or are you tenacious to stay there until you get results? Because again, that also shows that you can work under pressure. The diamond was actually a charcoal that held the pressure. You know how expensive diamond is. You know how cheap charcoal is. But with pressure, you can turn a charcoal into a diamond. So if you're looking at getting up there in your career, climbing the corporate ladder, being up there, you need to show that you can work under pressure. And one of the things that happens here, which is most important, I'll just drop this as we go on, is for you to stay calm under pressure. You realize that there are different sets of people under pressure. Some people will start shouting, start doing also banging the table and all of those things, raising their voice. A lot of the times they are empty. Remember, an empty barrel makes the loudest noise. If indeed you have what it takes, you'll be quiet because you are full. Your content helps your confidence, in that light. And then you'll be able to, quickly run through things and say, oh, you know what, give me a few minutes. Oh, let's do this, let's do that. People will recognize that as a very, very important work ethic. Networking and relationship building, I've talked about that, your LinkedIn profile, develop a strong professional network. There are a lot of, opportunities I've gotten just because of the way my LinkedIn profile is and the way I interact with people. If I see someone that I kind of like what they're doing, I send them the message, say, oh, hi, my name is Lala. This is what I do. I like what you're doing. Can we talk and all of that? And then constructive feedback. I'm pressed for time, so I'm just going to rush. So I've talked about general work ethics. Now, these are mine in terms of, as an individual, and I just kind of listed 7. You guys should do the same as well. Sit down this weekend, take a notepad, and just say, look, what is my work ethic? What are the things I'm good at? One of the earlier faculty member also mentioned doing a SWOT analysis. I think that was Madam Khadija as well. Do a SWOT analysis of yourself. What are you good at? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And write it down. This is mine personally. My personal brand is important to me. Respect is important to me. Working with a team spirit, timeliness, like I mentioned, it was a struggle earlier in my career, but I've gotten a hold of that. Continuous learning, innovation, failing forward is about resilience, and that's something personal for me. So these are my own 7 work ethics. And just for a resource, like I told you, I have a blog. I just kind of put in these 2 blog articles that I wrote about work ethics and leadership. I'm sure that will be helpful to you. And that's it from me. I'm sure we'll have a question and answer session. And this is me, everything about me, all my social media touch points, and my LinkedIn profile and all of that. That's about it from me. Thank you, everyone. I hope this has been very helpful. Thank you. Hello, Mona.
It's raining a round of applause here live in the Career Acceleration Summit Studios in the city of Abuja for Mr. Seyi Lala. I now know how to pronounce your name. I didn't know how to pronounce it so well up until your session tonight. And I must say a very big thank you to you for being authentic. Thank you so much for being real. What stood out for me tonight is the need for self-improvement. And I think it cuts across all 12 pillars for me, regardless of whatever point I am in my career journey, whether it's with my accountability, whether it's my time management, whether it's my professionalism, I can and should improve. And I want to say a very big thank you to you once again for how practical that session was. And I want to encourage everyone, wherever you're joining us from, don't assume that you actually took in everything you heard tonight at once. I implore you to please go back and listen again and again and again. He said something again that is very profound. He said, just write down what you think your work ethics are. What are your goals? Are they aligning? Do you think these ethics that you've highlighted would actually take you where you want to be? If your answer is no, then you have a job, your job cut out for you on your hands. Can we please make it rain in the chat room for our distinguished facilitator? Thank you so much for your time and for your wealth of experience and industry that you brought to bear in your session tonight. We're forever grateful for this opportunity that we have to learn and mine from your wealth of knowledge. I'd like to say again, thank you to everyone for joining us. We promised you, and so far we have delivered. And I want to assure you that there's still so much more in store tonight. I want to assure you not to go anywhere. Please fasten your seatbelts. We're going on a short break now. It's not a commercial break. It's a learning break because we keep learning. Mr. Seyi said, in every venture, you don't lose. You either learn or you win. So trust me, in this opportunity, we're winning, and we're even learning as well. So this next session is a session you don't want to miss. We spoke a lot earlier today about personal branding, about building, an out-of-the-box career, about lifelong learning, about communication skills. And now we just spoke about work ethics for career acceleration. Now, bear in mind that this next session is going to answer a very important question that you've always had on your mind. How do I answer interview questions? How do I answer interview questions? It's a packed session and you don't want to miss it. The media team is going to roll the script right about now. And please, I want you to get your notepad, and I'll be back right after the interview for our final session today. And then we have our Q&A. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Media team.
Hello. Welcome to this segment of the Career Acceleration Summit, and I'm so excited to be here at this time to share my knowledge or my experience on this summit. I want to believe that you've had great sessions so far, and there's no way that you can leave this summit the same way. All right, one thing I have realized over the last almost 2 decades of human resource management, recruitment, training, is that a lot of people present themselves to be available for roles in organizations, but are actually not prepared to take up the opportunities. The truth is, opportunities are bound everywhere, but unfortunately, people do not prepare to fit into those opportunities. And interview sessions, I need you to understand that they are not, sessions to bring you down. They are an opportunity for you to sell yourself. Interview sessions are opportunities for you to convince the panel that you are able to fit in that role. So when you're preparing to go, to face a panel, an interview panel, you must have this in mind, that it's only an opportunity for you to say, I am fit for that role. So there's no need to be fidgety. There's no reason for you to be scared or afraid, And this begins from your ability to build your self-esteem. You need to understand what you carry. You need to understand who you are. You need to be confident in your abilities and your skills. All right, so let's begin by the way that you appear. One of the things that will give you confidence anytime is when you dress well. So you cannot be preparing to face an interview panel and then you are not preparing to dress well. Dressing well entails that you dress smartly, you smell good, you look, you present yourself as a serious person, as someone who is on the way somewhere, someone who has a good self-image, right? So it's not about being expensive, it's about being clean, being smart. I want to believe you understand what I'm talking about. All right, so this is very fundamental, because I had to see a lot of people come for an interview and they look really not presentable. They look like people who are not even sure they are fit to be given that opportunity. All right, so that is basic. Now, the second thing that you need to pay attention to is the way that you speak, the way that you attend to questions. One common questions that we get often, or that we ask often, is, tell me about yourself. I'm sure you've heard that a lot of times. This is a question that is common, with recruiters, and what I get, the responses I get a lot of the times is, my name is Florence, I am from Oyo State, I am this, I am that, I went to Federal University of whatever. That is not what you're required to say. As an applicant, when you get the question, tell us about yourself, it's simply an opportunity for you to spell out those skills and ability that you have that makes you fit for that role. So like I said earlier, it is the opportunity for you to say, I am applying as let's say the front office manager. I am a certified customer service professional, for instance. I've worked in XYZ organization for so years, and I've been able to deal with XYZ situation. This happened and this is what I did, presenting, scenarios or cases where you expressed the strength of your skill. So this is the way to go in answering that question. Tell us about yourself. And that's why I began by saying it's important that you understand who you are. You need to have your skills, your abilities, your personality at the tip of your hand. You need to be aware of who you are. You cannot appear at, in front of an interview panel and then you're looking for words. You must be emphatic about the qualities that you have brought to the table in other organizations where you've worked, that is able to convince the panel that you are fit for the role. That is basically what you're.
From that short break, I'm sure you learned something. We couldn't take all of the length of the video because of time constraints, but we promise you that we'll bring you the concluding part as the Career Acceleration Summit progresses. Let me ask that you please, if you haven't done this, and I'm wondering why haven't you subscribed to this YouTube page? Kindly subscribe right now. Please subscribe to the YouTube page of the Career Acceleration Summit and turn up your notification bell so that you can receive engaging content that can accelerate your career journey. I'm asking that you also share this with your friends, family, and loved ones, anyone you love and you want to see grow. This is a beautiful and a perfect gift that you can share with them. Without much ado, we'll be moving right next into our final session for tonight. After this third session, we'll be having all three speakers for tonight, Mr. Folake Agunbiade, Mr. Seyi Lala, and the next speaker who I'll be bringing up shortly to have a panel session where we're going to throw questions at them. So I'm asking that you please drop your questions in the chat room. Let's make this conversation very enriching and engaging. I am having so much fun learning in here, and I'm sure you're doing the same wherever you are, joining from across the world. The next speaker I'm about to bring up is someone I greatly respect, and is someone who is a part of the team at Katzing. We call him our co-in partner. He's a co-in partner of the convener and the CEO of Katzing Consult, Mr. Folake Agunbiade. He's none else than Dr. Idenyi Shaibu. He's someone who is very strategic in the heart of managing relationships, and he's going to be telling us and giving us the tips on how and why we need relationships. You know, Mr. Folake Agunbiade spoke earlier about having an elevator pitch and why it is necessary for you to get through that communication and that conversation to ensure that you get whatever you want. Everything you want is on the other side of communication and building a strategic network. So this session is a session you don't want to miss. If there's anyone you know who isn't in the room already, tell them to get into the room right now. I promise you this next session is going to be fire. It's going to be the bomb. It is nothing like you've ever seen before. So I'll be bringing up very shortly Dr. Idenyi Shaibu, joining us all the way from the beautiful city of Jos Plateau State. Dr. Emmanuel Idenyi Shaibu is a trained, certified, and practicing business and management consultant in finance and business repositioning. Is popularly known as the Millennium Entrepreneur and also as a partner to the host of the Career Acceleration Summit at Folake Agunbiade and a brand Katzing Consult on several projects. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, if your hands are not too busy, and I'm sure they are not, please make it rain for the one, the only, our very own Dr. Emmanuel.
Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Please let me know if you can hear me. Let me be sure that you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, 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 doctor, we can hear you. Please go ahead. Doctor, we can hear you. Yes, we can. Please go ahead, Dr. Emmanuel.
Can you hear me? Barrister Israel, can you hear me?
Yes, Dr. Emmanuel Idenyi, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, it's a pleasure to be here on Career Acceleration Summit 2024, and I'm glad that this is happening at such a time as this, particularly as we know what we currently face as a people, as a nation. Thank you very much to all the amazing speakers since morning. I followed and I watched some of the YouTube binges, and it's been hot. Now, I love the fact that you mentioned that I'm the co-partner to the convener. And one thing I have come to realize about Folake Agunbiade, aka the customer seductress, is she knows your value in the network. She has a network and she knows the value of everybody in that network. So I was not surprised that I have the topic building strategic network, the art of relationship management. Very key. This is a topic that can take the whole day, but of course, no matter how much we spend, we will not finish speaking on the matter. So, but I'll go straight into my presentation. I don't know if I can share my slide. I want to share my slide. So I don't know if I can share so that you can look at you can follow with what I'm sharing. I want to be sure that I can project so that I can see my slides. Let me be sure I have it. I don't know if you can see it. If you can see it, just let me know so that I'll be sure. I don't know if you can see my slides. Can you see it now? Okay. So I believe you can see these slides. If you can see, just drop a chat for me, then I make progress. If you can see, just tell me yes. You can see it. Then I make progress immediately. Can you see it so that I just run immediately? Yes, I'm waiting to hear from Israel or Mona. Okay. I'm told you can't see my slide, so I want to let me try it again so that we can follow. You can follow through properly. So give me some minutes so that I'll see. Can everyone see my slide? Can you see it now? Okay, so I'll be speaking on building strategic network, the art of relationship management. First of all, let me quickly introduce myself. As the short video said, I am Idenyi Shaibu. I'm popularly called the Millennium Entrepreneur. My basic job is to help individuals and organizations increase their cash flow and make more money by a minimum of 50% within 90 days through strategic business repositioning and bespoke coaching methodology. I've done that for over the years. I guide them to conduct personal financial audit to help them make predictable cash flow in their personal and business finance. And as I usually say, I can help organizations to do that. So we want to look at the topic in 5 different subtopics. Now, what is strategic networking? Why strategic networking? Who needs strategic networking? The benefits of strategic networking, and of course, the future of strategic networking. The truth of the matter is you cannot talk about networking, whether it is strategic or operational, without a relationship. There has to be some form of relationship. Now, if we understand that there has to be some form of relationship, then it means that we have to be deliberate about it. We have to be deliberate about it. Unfortunately, many people are not deliberate about it, and that's why they don't seem to make a lot out of that relationship. And here are we: if you want to advance in your career, you must be willing to, be deliberate about relationship. So what is strategic networking? What is a strategic network? Like I said, as you can read on the screen, it's a purposeful and intentionally driven group of persons who have values to always bring to the table and keep improving on the quality of the network. Very important. It's a purposeful and intentionally driven group of persons who have value to always bring to the table to keep improving the quality of the network, because the network has to improve. So we must at every point in time bring value depending on our competencies to the table. Now, a strategic network is a long-term relationship. This is actually not built for immediate gratification, and that is where most people make the mistake. A strategic network is a long-term relationship. It is not built for immediate gratification. Most people want to go into a relationship just for what they can get in the next 2 weeks, 3 months, 1 year, and they are done. Strategic networking is not like that. Strategic networking is not like that. In fact, relationship management now is at the core of sustainable and strategic network. Relationship management. So, how you sustain that network is a function of relationship management. I give you a very critical example. Something happened this evening. Now, on the 30th of July, I was inducted as a fellow of the Commonwealth Academy of Learning and Management. So those of us that were inducted, I put us together in the WhatsApp group just to interact, once in a while. But of course, I needed to manage that relationship, and I have a tool which is a go-to-market strategy, which is my Business Digest. So one of the persons who was inducted had been reading Business Digest, always posted there. And this person called me up that he has some sets of training coming up in some various locations in Nigeria. He wouldn't know if I would be free to participate, and he would send the breakdown of the locations and the modules. And he sent, and we were able to come to an agreement. This is somebody that I've only met once in my life. I've only spoken to once in my life, but we entered into a network, and he has seen value over time for him to want me to participate in the program. That is the essence of relationship management. Unfortunately, which is what is the problem we face, is some of these things are not taught in our academic curriculum. So that's the challenge with our newbies, because the curriculum that was used to teach some of us in some courses are what is still being used. Those curriculum have not been improved upon. And because they've not been improved upon, they come out and you wonder if these ones can even handle anything such as that. So relationship management is at the core of a sustainable and strategic network. Very, very important. Now, many people are just keeping people. They are not in a relationship, and that's why they can't seem to benefit from it when the need arises. Many people are just keeping people. Why would you keep people just to add to the number? Just to add to the number, when indeed you are not benefiting from them. You are not benefiting at all. So if you are not benefiting, why do you keep such persons? Why do you keep them? So you actually can't go too far in life and operate far in life if you live and operate in a silo. It's not possible for you to achieve so much if you think you can operate in a silo. Now we'll see more to that as we make progress. Now, you are in a strategic network to add to the existence of humanity. That is your major reason. So the existence and the connectivity we share as humans demands that we live in a network and thrive thereof. You must live in a network and thrive in that network. Now, hear this, which is what most people do not understand. As you are as a person, you are too much to have been created for yourself alone. What you carry, what God has put in you, is too much to be for you alone. That's what I'm trying to say. So, how do you now manifest that thing that God has put in you? It is to live, thrive within a network. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, depending on the network. And just imagine if everybody live and work in that consciousness, just the way we all do, and we bring value to that network. I want us to ponder on this, because the truth of the matter is, this is the crux of the matter. Where many people think that they are made for themselves alone, unfortunately, nobody is made for himself alone. Everybody is meant to add something to somebody else's life by the way we interact, by the way we relate, by the way we make friends. But unfortunately, there are still some people who do not add value. They try to be parasitic, but this is not the case here. If you must be in a network, you must also be willing to know how to harness that network to your own advantage. Some persons are in a network, they are always giving, they are not benefiting. Other people are not contributing to the network, so it makes it a bit tiring. But the truth of the matter is this: we should begin to see that everybody has something to offer. Everybody. And that's why you're not just in a network for the sake of being in a network. Now, take a look at a sample of an organizational structure. I try to put this here. The owner of the business may have the money, may have the skill, may have the competence, may have a good location, but he alone cannot be the manager A, B, and C. He cannot. He cannot be manager A, B, and C. Even the manager A, B, and C, there are people who have to work under them. So that is a kind of network. This will now mean that roles will be assigned, job descriptions will be assigned, assignments will be given, collaborations will be given. Mind you, it is because they has a great role to play. And this role is because the role will add up to the overall role goal of the organization. So, and that is the essence of putting people together. Because if they are not going to add value, why are we putting them together? Why are we in a network? Why does the job of Mr. A stops and that's where Mr. B job starts? The end product of Mr. A's job is the raw material for Mr. B's job. So we need to understand this very, very critical if we must work in a strategic network. Sometimes you are in a network not for, like I said, not for immediate benefit, but the benefits are long term. So I give you an example. Arguably, people have said the president, commander in chief, president of Nigeria, has trained a lot of people, has helped a lot of people, and he has rewarded people because of relationships they have kept for over 2-3 decades. He has rewarded them with positions, rewarded them with contracts because they have maintained that relationship over the years. Just imagine if such relationships were not maintained. Just imagine if those networks were not kept. Most times people will tell you, I'm not a calling person. I don't know how to carry my phone to call somebody to a group. I don't know how to attend people's events. And all these are little things that helps to manage relationship that we are building. Don't forget, we're talking about strategic network, but the relationship management is at the core, like we said, of that strategic network. So it has to be a deliberate attempt. It's not casual. You must be deliberate about it. You must be ready to take steps to ensure that it works. Now, if you do not take steps for it to work and you are expecting that somebody else will take the step, that's usually what happens. You discover that you will not maximally benefit from that relationship, from that network. But, and if you remember the definition I gave earlier, we should ensure that the value is increasing. If that network you got into was not valuable, how did you even get it to in the first place? So it should be attractive for other persons to come in and play their role and benefit and also improve on it. Now, take a look at this. Strategic networking. So who needs it? If you may ask. In fact, all of us do need it, because now the last person that spoke, Mr. Lala, was talking about work-life integration. And that is how life has become. Work has become part of our life, and our life is revolved around work. Look at us at this time. We are working. Some people are actively in the head office of Katsin in Basan Plaza, because this is work going on, and people are on different time zones elsewhere for joining this conversation. Some of them may just be on a bus ride or in a train or listening to another program, but they are connected. And that's why everybody needs strategic networking. It's valuable to all business professionals, but more for entrepreneurs. Now, experienced founders know that substantial portion of credit of their success goes to the strong connection they have built. You must build strong connection with people. It's supposed to be a symbiotic relationship, not parasitic, not commensalism. It is symbiotic. Symbiotic in the sense that whenever you are in that team, whenever you are in that group, whenever you are in that association, you live better. People also live better by virtue of your own contribution into that team. And it's important that we highlight it, particularly these days that we have ICT infrastructure, AI everywhere. You get into a meeting, everybody is still on their phone, everybody is still browsing something online. And you'll be wondering, but human beings, there should be that human connection, which is very important. And that is what many people don't understand in relationship management. As simple as a text message, a call to somebody who is in a crisis situation, or you heard something happen, it goes a long way to appeal to the emotion of that person, because you are first of all emotional being. And as somebody who is in the marketing space, people buy for emotional reasons, first of all, and rationalize it with logic. So there is nobody that does not have a feeling of wanting to be loved. Everybody has. Everybody does have. So everybody has need for strategic network, and everybody should play his or her part in relationship management so that that network will be productive. That network will be productive. So you do not take advantage of a network because of personal gains. You are part of it to improve it and make it attractive to new entrants. You do not take advantage of a network because of personal gains alone. You are part of it to improve it, make it attractive to new entrants. Now, that is why when the moderator was saying, if you have not followed, if you have not liked the handles, why not? Because we know the value that's on those social media handles. So when they visit, it should be attractive for them to tell other people to come and join. This is what we are benefiting from this place. This is what I benefit from here. It's very important, so that nobody is taking for granted because of whatever reason. So that nobody is taking for granted. The truth of the matter is, many people feel taken for granted because of whatever reason. But the truth of the matter is, this is the very reason why we need to be deliberate and learn the art of relationship management. We were not born with it, but we can learn it. Some people, by virtue of their temperament, they are wired, that way to show, to be, jovial with people. But the truth is, some people, by virtue of life experiences, how they were brought up, they are dealing with trauma, may not open up. But you cannot be in a network and forever remain quiet. You're not supposed to remain quiet. It is the very reason why we should do it. And this reason is such that we want to ensure that the network improves, it is better, we leave it attractive so that more people can come in, because we want to ensure that our lives are better by the value we contribute. Very important. Very, very important. Now, in a relationship management, you need to stay in touch. When you stay in touch, you will be aware and well informed of the dynamics and growth of the relationship. You cannot be in a relationship and don't stay in touch. So you cannot be in a network, for instance, and just keep quiet. I give an example. There's hardly 72 hours will pass without me and Mrs. Folake calling each other or having one conversation. At times you just, are we fighting? You have not missed me, because we want to consistently galvanize that relationship. Yes, you read Business Digest every day, but the relationship is beyond Business Digest. So also in a network, it should be such that the network feels your impact, and you also benefit from the impact of the network. Very important. And that's why people are following this from every part of the world, because there is value to get. They are benefiting, they are gaining, and the truth of the matter is, if they are not benefiting, they wouldn't have stayed. From the way the event started in the morning, with the fire that came this evening, and with the conclusion that will happen tomorrow, the truth of the matter is, it is beneficial. And because of it being beneficial, go and check after this program. You see that you would have gotten a lot of followers, subscribers to the handles of Casting Consult. Truth of the matter is, relationship is, you need the human feeling to have a relationship. Everybody wants that human connection, and with human connection, we can't achieve so much. We can't achieve so much. Now, I make this assertion always when we up in an African city, where we tell ourselves human beings are your covering, because you can achieve a lot with the network you have. A lot can be achieved with the network you have, and don't take it for granted. And I give you an example. Some of the consultancies we've gotten, it's not because we are probably the best or our proposals were the best. It is because of we are in a network of people, and somebody in the room mentioned our name. Somebody in the room mentioned our name. Some of the opportunities we got or we get is because we're in a network. Yes, we are bringing value to the table, but somebody remembers to mention your name, and that was how we got that job. And that's why you cannot amount to much if you say you will not relate with people. Yes, some people can be toxic. You will not fight with them, you will not quarrel with them, you won't hate them, but you will reduce your interaction with them because they do not add value just the way you add value and you bring to the table. Now, what are the benefits of strategic network? Connectivity, alignment, and action. Connectivity, alignment, action. Connectivity. Now, you cannot be in a strategic network and there is no connectivity. You must connect with people. There are people you will always resonate with, either for one reason or the other: religion, place of work, formal school, where you come from. You will always listen. There has to be connectivity. So you need to build, share, and develop it. It's something that has to be deliberately built. It's not something that you just gloss over it. It has to be deliberate. And once you build, you begin to align. And as you align, you want to achieve conceptual idea. You want to create and promote, all the things that build together. So you cannot achieve so much if you are not willing to connect, align, then take action. Because most times, some of these things are taught, some of these things are read, we know them, but we do not take necessary action. So for me, I let people understand, if I'm in a strategic network, I bring value to the table. It's not about being the loudest person in the room or not. These things can be felt, these things can be noticed, and people will connect with you. Most times, at the end of a conversation or a meeting, people come to meet you personally or privately and begin to talk to you that thing you said, I want more of it. How can I connect with you privately? I need to ask more questions. That is because you brought value to the table. If there was no value on the table, I'm not sure the person would have connected deeply. So after that connection now, the person is trying to see how he or she can align. And if he or she wants to align, it means he's trying to take steps to take action. The actions that will make him be a more beneficial person in that network. That is the essence. That is the whole essence. So it can be a collective action or decentralized action. So we're in a network, we're in a group. An example is, okay, we have said we want to, we have connected, we have aligned, we want to take some action. So some of those actions may be collective, maybe decentralized by having 2-3 smaller groups or a committee to handle this and report back to the general house. All these things ensure that strategic network is valuable. And that smaller group, whereby the relationship is being managed, we will see people getting closer so that they can work better. Truth of the matter is, this circle goes on, and if you don't manage it deliberately, you get to see people working in silos, and nobody can achieve so much. Like I've said earlier, working in silos. Now, I'm attempting to round up now, and I want to show us this last slide. Now, 10 strategic trends in 2023. 10 strategic trends in 2023. Very strategic. Number 1, planning for uncertainty. We must plan for uncertainty. Number 2, inflation and pricing strategy. Incorporating sustainability into strategy. Future of works, automation and fourth industrial revolution. Of course, metaverse and new internet, diversity, equity, inclusion, shifting organizational model, delivering proximity, customer lifetime value as a strategic tool. If we must build strategic network in the 21st century, we cannot deny paying attention to the part of the world. You must deny that you will want to achieve so much and you will not pay attention to this. It's not possible. Very important. And finally, for you to be a valuable member of a network, you must be magnetic. If you want to be magnetic, you must strive to become valuable and a dependable member of the network. You have a way of affecting others positively as you keep at it. You must be magnetic. Because if you are not magnetic, it means you are not adding value. So if you are magnetic, it means you have capacity to even draw others to you. And that's the last slide I can see. So be magnetic. Strive to become valuable and a dependable member of the network. You have a way of affecting others positively as you keep at it. You can't be a member of a network and somebody is not attracted to that network because of you. Somebody is attracted to that network. That's why you see that picture is kind of magnetic. So as we progress in this Career Acceleration Summit 2024, remember that you have to be a magnetic person for you to succeed in whatever you do. We have had amazing speakers. More are still coming tomorrow. But remember, you are a dependable member of a network and you shall succeed. Thank you for listening. That's the size of my presentation.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. Dr. Shaibu, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my goodness, the essence of living is to add value to humanity. So, really, what value is anyone here bringing to their relationships and their networks? Are people feeling your impact? I mean, when you leave a space, do people remember you? And your quote, I had to write it down. You don't take advantage of a network because of personal gains. You are part of it to improve it and make it attractive for new entrants. Thank you so, so much. It seems like all the speakers today were just connected in all they were talking about, from communication skills into work ethics, continuous learning and improvement, and now into relationship management. Amazing. Thank you so much to our speakers. It's been an amazing session. So we'll quickly jump into it just for lack of time. We're going to jump into the panel discussion. So at this time, I would like to welcome all our speakers back on the stage. I would also like to encourage our listeners, participants, please drop your questions. We have a few already, and we're ready to get on with the questions. But if you have anyone specifically for any of the speakers, because we're going to have all of them available to answer your questions, please put your questions down in the comment section and we will note it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm waiting for the speakers to come on. Ms. Folake Agunbiade, Mr. Seyi, Lala, and Dr. Shaibu. We're waiting for you on the screen. And for everyone that is connected, please go ahead, like and subscribe to our YouTube link, our YouTube page. That way, when we go live tomorrow for day 2, you are aware. For anyone that hasn't registered, that means we do not have your email. We're also going to be sending email updates regarding the summit. Please use the registration link so that we have your details down. So if we need to reach you, it will be easy for us to do so. Mr. Seyi, Lala, welcome back. Welcome back. I wanted the others to join
Hi.
in.
Thank you, Mona. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you. I'm very well. I was jotting. You see that the easiest day was yesterday. That's a scary statement, but it is so true. The easiest day was yesterday. Like, you cannot rest. You have to keep moving
Yeah,
and keep moving. So that's
absolutely.
continuous learning. Amazing session. Thank you so much. Dr. Idenyi, welcome back. Dr. Idenyi Shaibu. We're waiting for one more person, but while we're waiting for her,
Thank
just
you.
don't take too much time. I know she's going to come up. I have a question. Hey, welcome back, ma'am. Oh, welcome back. Welcome back. So I'm just going to jump right into it. While we're also waiting for people to put their questions in the comment section, I have a few. I'm just going to start with Mr. Folake Agunbiade. This person is asking, could we please get an example of how to backtrack when we say something that did not resonate with an interviewer? So during the interview, there was something that was said, that did not resonate. How do you backtrack and get yourself back in a good book? I'm not sure. I cannot hear you. I do not know if it's just from my end, but I cannot hear you, ma'am.
I can't hear her too.
Okay. I think she's sorting out her microphone. So while she's
I
doing
think
that, yes. So while she's doing that, we can just jump to Mr. Seyi, Lala. So I have a question here that says, how do you deal with situations where, though the work culture doesn't align with your personal ethics, pay is good and you need the money, but the work culture doesn't align with your own personal ethics. How do you handle that?
Wow. Okay. So I have a notion that I always work with, which I call goal behind the goal. So okay, you have your own personal branding. It's not aligned with the organization's culture or brand, but you need the money. So you need to set that as a goal behind the goal. So first off, go and look for an organization that matches your brand, scope them out, scan them, right? And start looking for how you can get into that organization while you're collecting the money from where you are right now. I call that goal behind the goal.
Goal behind the goal.
Oh my God.
That's amazing. It sounds like something, I think it was Tommy Onida when she was describing the difference between job and career. Like a job you may just hold now, you may just sort out your needs immediately, but in terms of a career, you have to be more deliberate in actually chasing
Absolutely.
them. So fantastic.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Miss Folake, welcome back. I'll hop back right back.
Thank you.
Do you want me to go again with a question? An example of how to backtrack when you say something that did not resonate with an interviewer.
I think the first rule, I saw that question earlier in the live feed. I believe it was from Aisha Kwesi. I think the first rule is even know when you say the wrong things. I've seen people who are clueless for days. They just keep digging the hole deeper and deeper and deeper. And you are like, you get to a point you want to do like this. Oh my God. Can you get it together? So the first thing is even to know, to be aware. It's a level of self-awareness. And in that domain of emotional intelligence, thankfully, we're going to be having a session on emotional intelligence tomorrow, I think by Coach Tega.
Yes.
And you need to be there. So if you're not ready to be in the room tomorrow, I don't know what you're doing with your time. Anyway, one of the domains of emotional intelligence is social awareness, where you are in a room and you are aware of everything going on around you. I can be talking to someone in a conversation, but I can read the nonverbal communication of 2 or 3 other people in the room. So first off, you need to identify who on the panel or in that conversation is offended by your speech, or you have said something they are not particularly pleased about. So you wait. What is the value of that person on the panel? For every panel that you have to face, they're going to introduce themselves. So you have an idea of their designation and their role. Sometimes you say a certain thing on a panel and the top guy is feeling you, but there is somebody else beefing you on the panel. Yeah, it happens. So you're going to ask yourself, what I just said, who is it not relevant or resonating with? That person, are they of any value to the decision being made about me? Because guess what? There's a sponsor in the room that still gets to make the final decision. So you need to be reading the room. Sometimes the sponsor doesn't even look like they're the one. Some of you jump into conclusions. I remember when Mona was still in Nigeria and we'll go for meetings. And, look at her. She's gorgeous. If you know, you know. There's right.
Are we still on the panel session? Is this still the panel session?
I'm trying to say some nice things about this young lady.
It's still the panel session, man.
And we'll step into a room. And because she looks so gorgeous, they'll just face her. They'll say, welcome, ma. You and your team. I will stand behind her. Yes, now she's my boss. Well, don't laugh. You know it's true. It has happened before. And when they ask me, oh, what's your own name? I say, my boss will tell you. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, please, let's be real. It's about sealing that account. And when you're a team player, it's whoever is resonating with the room that should take points. Yes. Some of you are senior level management in the room, and your junior team member seems to be resonating with their speech, with their vibe, with their aura, with the vibrations they bring to the table. And instead of you allowing them to shine through, because at the end of the day, it's all about the numbers. Yeah. I work, we achieve. I do, we work. So you know who you are offending. If they are important in the scheme of things, take a quick pause and be like, I think I might have got that a bit wrong. Can I rephrase? Or one of the popular ones I like, can you please take that again? I don't think I got you so well. That's your way to say, I think I just said rubbish. So please, can you give me a few minutes to redeem myself? So use quality rephrasers to take back the room. Like, can I get that question again? I think I modeled something up, and I don't want you to get the wrong impression about me. So they calm down again and give you the question. Hopefully, this time around, the Holy Spirit will give you the interpretation of what to say. So watch the room, understand the power dynamics going in the room. If you need to readdress it, apologize again, and ask for a rephrasing of yourself, then go ahead. I hope that helps.
Yes, fantastic. People really don't understand how far honesty can take you when you're being authentic and transparent in that. Thank you so much. So we're gonna jump quickly to Dr. Emmanuel Shaibu. So I have a question here that says, how do you handle a strategic relationship with a greedy person who always looks out for their benefit at your own detriment?
The first question is, how did the person conclude that it was strategic?
Exactly, because it's in quotes, so strategic.
That's the first question. How did you conclude? Okay, let me give you a simple example here, and I'm going to go a bit personal. There are 4 people in my core. 4. Folake number 1, Dr. Tony Garba number 2, Moses Okori number 3, and Yemi. We do not have issues with money, not at all. So I cannot wake up and think that Folake wants to cheat me. Then I have a problem. Not that Folake will wake up and say the Shaibu wants to cheat her. No, then there's a problem up in issue. So you don't just get into a strategic network. You walk it through before you achieve it. It doesn't just happen. Are there no other persons? There are, but they're not in my core. So I give you an example. Okay, I mean, for like I'm hearing this for the first time. You remember that there was a deal, a training we did with Leah Limoke's wife, something. I don't know if Lala was around then. And I was in Abuja. Folake transferred 6 figures to another account of my account. And when I discovered, it was when I got back to Jos. Now, she was upset. She was like, should I send another money? I said, no, don't send the money, don't worry. I knew she was worried because the long-term value of the relationship we have is more than that immediate money now. That money never came back. Oh. That money never came back. But the relationship is stronger for it. So if I had felt I lost, is it money or the relationship? So most people are in a relationship for immediate gratification. That's why you are now saying the person is greedy. How did the person become a strategic relationship to start with? How? So you must sit down and do a SWOT analysis of it first. I can bring Folake to Jos for free. She can bring me to Abuja for free. Not because I don't value her, because of the long-term and lifetime value we have placed on the relationship. But unfortunately, many people don't understand this thing. They still need to be taught and trained how to know these things. And that's the truth. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I said it earlier on. It seems like all the speakers today going around the same theme, which is fantastic because Mr. Oluseyi Lala spoke about doing a SWOT analysis and also writing what are your values. I think once you can understand your values and what is important to you, that will guide you in the relationships that you then have. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm going to jump into another question, and I'm going to go back to Miss Folake Agunbiade. Okay, so somebody says here that I am too reserved and I have huge blocks around conversation. I don't have energy to converse and engage people at times. This person sounds like so yes. Person is
Why do you
saying,
know? Why do you think I was laughing?
this person sounds like me. Hello from my previous self. So the person is asking, what can I do to break these mind blocks?
I'm glad that the person ended that statement with the word
Mind block.
Mind block.
Mind block. Yeah.
Yeah, because I still remember about 9 years ago when Mona Etiebe joined the Catsin Consult team, and I would tell her we're going for a training and she's going to take the introductory session, just a few minutes, 30, 20 minutes, and she will ghost me. I would call her for days. Yeah, and we work together. Have you seen that side before? She will not pick my calls. She will shut down, processing it. Then after a few days, I can't deal. Dr. Idenyi.
Yeah, but no problem. I'll take it.
Folake, I can't deal. I'm sorry. I don't think I'll be able to do it. Fast forward to about 3 years after we started working together, I was going to do the audio book for my first book, Customer Seduction. It has an audio copy. For those of you that don't like to read, you can get the audio copy as well. Yeah. And I had to ask her, she speaks so well, and I believed in her abilities. I said, you're going to read the book. I got a professional makeover artist, but I wanted to hear her voice in the book because she knew me, she knew the brand, and she could interpret the book with the light of what she knows about it. And I remember that day we were going to the studio. She said, I'm sick, I'm ill, I'm dizzy, I'm mind blocks. Mind blocks. So I drove to her house. I said, get into the car. Yeah. I said, get into the car because this recording, you shall do it.
I was kidnapped that day, just for anybody that wants
I kidnapped her. Yes, I agree. I took her against her will. Do you know what happened when we got to the studio? All of you that like gist, say, tell me more. Do you know what happened when we got to the studio? She got to read the prefix of the book, and the makeover artist became intimidated.
The voiceover artist.
He kept saying, why did you bring oh, my darling, thank you. The voiceover artist became intimidated. And he was like, why did you bring? She reads so well. She's so flawless. She read almost the entire book. Fast forward to before she left the country about 2 years ago. She was in charge of taking announcements, recorded announcements for her church. She had started facilitating 1 hour sessions, 1 hour, 30 minutes. So first off, admit that is a mind block. So I will not ask you if it's a mind block. The first thing you need is because the enemies that are within are more than the enemies that are without. Get a coach. Yes. Get an accountability partner. You can't break it. It's a stronghold. That's why it's called a block. You need somebody to kidnap you against your will and push you in the direction of your potentials. Number 2, ask yourself some quality questions. Am I shy of success? Mm-hmm. Am I exhausted with growing? Mm-hmm. Do I desire a better life? Or am I exhausted with a better life? I don't want a good life. I don't want the best things to follow me. I don't want to be seen and to have the visibility Because there are things you are asking for. God is not going to come do it.
True.
You're going to have to put yourself out there. And guess what? However you put yourself out there, you don't have to use me as the comparison. Mona does not train like me. It's not possible. I was born for this. If you wake me up from bed, you tap me and you say play, I will play. Trust me. It doesn't cost me nothing. I will speak. And I will speak professionally, eloquently, and I will make sense. However, you have a unique brand. In your still, quiet demure, the way you carry yourself, you have a message. So find what works for you. Find the community that you are comfortable in to speak. And sometimes, honestly, you will need to move out of your comfort zone. Because comfort never brings out grace and opportunities for you. So get a coach, understand your limiting beliefs, and put yourself out there. It takes time. It's a muscle. As you consistently continue to do it, strangely, as extroverted as I am, sometimes I can be an ambivert. I need time away from people to recover too. I just lie in my bed under my blanket, and I don't want to talk to anyone. I just want to be still. So it's okay to feel drained. When you get home, you'll go and recover. I hope that works.
Fantastic. Whoever asked that question, that was power packed. That was a whole masterclass in itself. And since she has started the Gen Z slang, I think it's maybe a social media slang. Somebody in the comment section has gone on to say still quiet demure like Mr. Lala. So hey, Mr. Lala, come on. Yes. So I know we just have
Mr. Demola earlier in the day. Still quiet demure.
Yes. And so I know we don't have too much time, but I think I have one more question for each of you. I'm just going to run and maybe we can make our answers very brief. So I'm coming back to the demure Mr. Lala. So somebody's saying my manager is instructing me to do some things that are against my personal values to get work done. How do I protect my personal values without losing my job?
Wow. Okay. So first off, you don't choose your manager the same way you don't choose your parents, right? You have to work with the guy because he's going to do your appraisal at the end of the day. However, your personal brand must be intact. So you need to have a conversation with that manager to say, look, this is, and I'm thinking and I'm assuming that what he is saying you should do is against the organizational ethics as well. So you need to have that conversation and say, sir, look, what you're asking me to do is against the organization's value, is against my personal value. We can't do this. If you need to get HR involved, get HR involved. But maintain your value because that speaks about you. So once you have that conversation, a lot of the times that manager will back off. Say, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. You bring HR in and all of that, he will back off. But if you don't talk, you get a position where you now have to compromise to do stuff just to please your manager. You shouldn't be in that position.
Yeah, I think people shouldn't be scared to rock the boat, actually. Sometimes
Correct.
It doesn't even turn out bad the way they think, right? Thank you so much. So I'm going to hop back to Dr. Shaibu for his final question. This question is asking, how do I manage or avoid creating a perception of being a parasite in a bid to create strategic networks? How do I avoid creating a perception of being a parasite?
AKA mentor me gang.
Now, thank God there is going to be an emotional intelligence. Incidentally, most of us here are EI trained too and certified in mental health. The first question is the person does not even know himself. Self-awareness. Now, the 5 major components or domain of EI is self-awareness, self-regulation, self-motivation, social skill, and social. Now, 60% of it is personal. So most people do not know themselves. So I ask people, most of the attitudinal problems we complain about people, it is because we don't know ourselves for who we are. Do you think we don't have differences? Myself and Folake, we do, but we have never quarreled. And that's what people don't understand. Because we are both self-aware of our strength, our disc personality type. So they are trying to understand how we manage to flow. We are flowing. So we are leaving it to them to decipher. So that you don't come across as parasitic. Go back and find out who are you to yourself and what do I bring to this conversation? What do I bring to this table? Once that is sorted, you will not think you are a parasite because you're thinking as being parasitic. That person is not even aware. It's not the person that is calling you a parasite. It's not the person that woke up and said you are behaving like a parasite. No, it is your perception. And I cannot control your own perception. It's just like what the Bible says in Numbers 13:33 that in our own eyes we were like grasshopper. They were the one telling themselves so, not that the people said they were grasshopper. So you need to deal with yourself first. Then from there you take it up. Well, like, why are you laughing?
No comments, sir.
Fantastic. Thank God we have an emotional intelligence session coming up tomorrow. Yeah, so we look forward to that. Thank you. And our final question for tonight, we're going back to Mr. Folake Agunbiade for this one. And he says, what do you do when it feels like you're trying to chit-chat and the other party is uninterested? You're trying to make small talk. The other party is just not interested. That's how it seems.
Fantastic. That happens a lot. However, I have learned that what is meat to one man is poison to another. So what I do is that I just switch partners. Yeah. There are people that you try everything. You pull out all the stops, but they are just on do not engage mode. I'm not interested. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be bothered. Please do not bother me. When I read your body language and I see that you're cutting me off, what do? I don't even get discouraged. Someone like me, my personality does not think. We don't overthink things. I know that I am an excellent human being. So when you cut me off, I don't start asking myself, is my mouth smelling? Is it I'm not dressed properly? Just like, in my native language. I move on to the next. I engage with the next person who is available and ready to mingle. Because honestly, if you don't remedy that feeling you are feeling in the moment with another good conversation, it will dampen your vibe for a while. Sure. Especially if you are building your communication skills. You're not going to be open because trauma stores. Yes, I'm a psychologist. Trauma saves up somewhere in you, and it can create a sense of inadequacy when it comes to conversations. So please, don't let it sit. Make sure you get a good conversation out of that environment before you leave it. If it's the time you're going to talk to on your way out, my brother, how are you? Oh, madam, God bless you. Even if it's the 200 naira or the $1 they want to take from you, please give it to them. Have a good, nice conversation and jolly well move on. Yeah.
I love that. That's a lot of emotional regulation happening there, where you're not letting one bad feeling sit. Thank you so much. I want to especially thank our panel today. It's been amazing. 3 hours have gone by so quickly. Thank you. Even if we don't have you on stage tomorrow, I know you're going to be in the room with us. Finally, it's about time to call it a day. Would like to acknowledge and thank our technical team on ground. It's not easy. They're doing fantastic. Thank you to
Please, can you help me? These guys have been through a lot.
Amazing.
From one techie to another. Thank you so much.
Yay! That's it. That's the compliment. Thank you to our technical team.
Hold on, guys.
Yes,
they are blowing you kisses from the Career Acceleration Studio. We're blowing you kisses for all the thank you.
Fantastic. And obviously, we're going to say thank you to the Cats in Consults team. We know they're still in the office at this time, and they'll be back again first thing in the morning to start with day 2. So Catching Consults team, thank you so much. All our speakers and moderators.
Thank you, boss.
Morning, the evening session. Specifically, this session, we've had Mr. Seyi Lala, Folake Agunbiade, and Dr. Emmanuel Shaibu. Thank you so much. I don't want to leave without thanking our partners and our sponsors. So for our legal partners, we have Citygate Solicitors. We have Image Classic Productions as our production company partner. Also, we have Perfect Trust Cosmetics, they are beauty and wellness partner. We have Studio 24, who is our official media partner of this summit. And also we have Terra Sync, our engineering consult partner. Thank you so much. I would like to encourage everyone logging in, streaming. Please go ahead, post your highlights on social media, tag Catching Consults. I mean, use the hashtags, hashtag career acceleration, hashtag career development. We will see it, we will share it, we will raise more awareness so more people can join us for day 2. As I said before, if you are not registered, please do so now. So we have your email so you can get email updates. Also, like and subscribe to our YouTube page so that you are notified when we go live. Thank you once again, and we look forward to seeing you for day 2 morning session. We start at 9 a.m. West African time, October 12th, Saturday, October 12th. Thank you once again. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.